You know it's bad when the highlight of your career is getting roasted by the entire internet before your movie even comes out. Rachel Zegler went from being Disney's chosen Snow White to the face of everything people hate about modern day Hollywood. And somehow, every time she opens her mouth, things just get worse. What started as Hollywood's next big thing turned into one of the most entertaining public downfalls we've seen in years. And the thing is, nobody had to cancel her. She did it all by herself, with a smile, a speech, and a side of delusion. So how exactly did Rachel Zegler go from Spielberg's Golden Girl to Disney's biggest PR headache? Because Rachel Zegler's fall from grace wasn't just a slip-up. It was a full-blown career-ending nosedive. And honestly, calling it satisfying or deserved is not necessarily the nicest thing to say. So, between Disney's decisions and Rachel's actions, why is it being labeled as satisfying? Well, let's get into it, because before the drama, before the memes, before the internet collectively said we're done with Rachel Zegler, she was just your average theatre kid from New Jersey. Born in 2001 with Colombian and Polish parents, she was that girl in school who wouldn't stop belting wicked during lunch. She had talent. No one's denying that. She could sing, act, and probably tell you her Hogwarts house unprovoked. Then came her big break. In 2018, Steven Spielberg was casting for his West Side Story remake. Out of 30,000 hopefuls, Rachel, then a totally unknown, landed the role of Maria. That should have been the start to an iconic Hollywood run, and for a moment, it looked like it would be. Critics praised her performance, she got interviews, red carpet moments, and enough hype to make you think she was about to become the next Anne Hathaway. But then, the talking started. Her first red flag didn't come in an interview, it came on Instagram. After not getting invited to the 94th Academy Awards, Rachel took to social media to throw a public tantrum. She didn't just post a sad selfie, she called out the Academy like she was left off the guest list to her own birthday party. The result, they caved. Not only did she get an invite, but they gave her a presenting slot, all because she whined loud enough. Which isn't empowerment, that's just entitlement. And from that moment on, the internet clocked it that this girl was not ready for the spotlight. Because after West Side Story, her next big move was joining the cast of Shazam 2, a DC sequel no one was exactly begging for. And when asked why she took the role, Rachel being Rachel said,
I needed a job. I'm being so serious.
Yeah, she actually said that on camera while promoting the movie. Like, you're not flipping burgers, this is a superhero film with a global release. So maybe she should have at least acted like she wanted to be there, although the movie tanked at box office. But let's be real, people didn't blame the writing, they blamed the press tour. But now, here's where Rachel's downfall escalates. In 2021, Disney cast Rachel as Snow White, aka the face of their entire princess legacy. This was huge, historic, a career-making role, and she torched it before the first trailer even dropped. Instead of honoring the classic, Rachel went on a press tour slamming the original film, calling the prince a stalker, saying Snow White would be a leader who doesn't need saving.
And we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Now, that might have worked if she hadn't done it with the tone of a BuzzFeed editor and the smugness of someone who just discovered feminism on Twitter. She said the movie was for modern audiences. Translation, if you like the original, this ain't for you. Which just sparked internet outrage.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Because this time, it wasn't just right-wing YouTube channels. Disney adults, parents, casual fans, even hardcore progressives were like, what is this girl saying? Because this interview became the infamous red carpet clip where she basically shrugs off the entire Snow White legacy. It wasn't just bad, it was career suicide with microphones. People weren't just annoyed, they were furious. This wasn't a brave reboot, it was seen as disrespect disguised as empowerment. And Rachel, she looked like she was enjoying every second of it.
Well, yes, I absolutely am.
Now, although Rachel may have been enjoying it, Disney wasn't. They panicked, pushed the movie back a full year, hired PR handlers, rewrote her interviews, and begged her just to stop talking. But she didn't. At the height of the backlash, Rachel gave an interview where she compared herself to the Winged Victory statue at Louvre.
The Winged Victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
This was just peak comedy, because I've never seen a clip backfire harder in my life. Yeah, no one lined up to watch her movie, so the delusion was no longer subtle. She was watching her own name in the credits, alone in an empty theater, filming herself clapping like it was opening night on Broadway. It wasn't inspiring, it was sad. It was meme material and the internet had a field day. But if things weren't messy enough, Rachel decided to post her thoughts on the Israel-Palestine conflict in the middle of Disney's family-friendly marketing campaign. Which, I mean, everyone has the right to voice their own opinions, but doing so during a globally sensitive promo tour for a classic kids film was widely seen as tone-deaf and damaging to the brand she was hired to represent. Disney wanted Snow White. Instead, it got a political lightning rod, which resulted in instant corporate meltdown. So Disney assigned her a social media babysitter. The producer, Mark Platt, personally begged her to delete the post, but she refused because in Rachel's mind, a multi-million-dollar studio should bow to her personal politics. And once again, she made it worse. Or so we thought, because the worst was yet to come. When Snow White finally hit theaters in 2025, it was a complete disaster. Like Rotten Tomatoes in the 30s, IMDb tanked to 2 out of 10, and audience reviews tore it to shreds. People weren't just disappointed, they were done. This wasn't just a box office flop, it was nuclear level failure. Disney shelved future princess remakes, cancelled Rapunzel, and ghosted Rachel like a bad Tinder date. Because she didn't just tank a movie, she ended a genre. And because of this, the backlash got so intense. Rachel said she had to start taking anxiety meds and rely on her psychiatrist just to get through it. She said she didn't choose the victim mindset, while actively describing how traumatizing it was to be a Disney princess.
If I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Imagine getting paid 7 figures to wear a dress and still framing it as a social justice issue. So I guess she went from tone deaf to full-blown static, because even her co-stars weren't backing her up. Andrew Burnap, who played the prince, subtly distanced himself, and producers reportedly blamed her for the film's flop. Behind the scenes, no one wanted to work with her anymore. So she went from the industry's rising star to do not cast list faster than you can say media training. And her next gig was a theatre production of Evita on the West End. Not a bad role, just not a Hollywood one, no studios, no blockbusters, just vibes and desperation. So at the end of the day, Rachel Zegler didn't just sabotage her career-making moment, she turned it into a public demolition with front row seats. She had talent, a Spielberg blessing, and a literal Disney crown, yet she threw it all away trying to be a movement instead of an actress. This wasn't a tragedy, this wasn't an accident, it was a masterclass in how to turn a pure opportunity into a career freefall. But let me know in the comments if you think Rachel Zegler is just a misunderstood icon or just background noise in a movie nobody wants to rewatch. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.